What's going on, hustlers? Back at you guys with another video. Today we're doing another interview, and we have a very, very special guest. Someone who I kind of think is kind of the poster child of all of the clients that I've worked with. He's had a lot of success doing business with DLA in quite a short time frame. So I'm very excited to kind of share some of his insights and his experiences with you guys. And do not forget, link in bio, and it's going to be the pinned comment. Register for the June 15th webinar. It's completely free. I'm not selling you guys anything. I'm not pitching you anything. I just want to expose all of you guys to doing business with DLA. I'm going to explain how the whole thing works. And then we've got some surprises in there for you guys. We're going to give you guys access to software for CRM. We're going to give you guys access to funding for your contracts. And we are going to give you guys access to search engine optimization and website design. So you guys are not going to want to miss that webinar. It's June 15th at 11 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. Without further ado, please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you very much, Day. My name is Oluwabumi Aladeokin, but people call me Bumi for short. I am pretty much just a regular African American, and I'm just here, a small business owner myself. Started out 3, 4 years ago with my small business, and I've just been going on since then. And here we are. I'm the owner of Kingston Group LLC. It's just a small LLC that we created 3, 4 years ago, and we'll be maintaining that over time. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us a little bit about how you got into GovCon, and how you got into doing business with DLA.
Nice question. So, govcon, when I started out, I started with govcon about 2021.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it was just basically, as a young person, I love trying out new things. I'd owned a business at the time, and I decided, okay, I want to get into this space. I've been
What kind of
researching about.
business did you have prior?
I was into e-commerce. I was a big Amazon seller too. I
Gotcha.
did that for 2 years straight with good profits. And then Amazon, started. I'm not knocking anybody down, but it became super, super competitive. And I decided, okay, as a family, my company is a family business, is owned by me and my wife, and we decided, okay, what's the next level for us? And then I joined a webinar with a guy out of Texas, and he's also a small business, government contracting business. He owns this government contracting business, and he does painting contracts, right? Spoke with him at length, and he said, "You know what? You're ripe for it. Go into it." And when we did a bit of research, and we came across Unison and SAMS. That was our first entry into government contracting space. And in my first year, we did Unison and SAM, and in the first year we won about 6 contracts in Unison. And I was like, this is too good to be true. If this information is out there, and I just chased it a little bit, and I got it, I think everybody should get on it. So did that the first time, and then the next second year, I tried out again. I pivoted into SAMS. I did more of SAMS contract bidding, and I won 6 the second year.
Now,
And I
with
was
Sam, was that service based or was it product based?
all products. I
All
don't do
product.
service. It's strictly product. Not that I'm not. I think service is also the way to go. But I love product just because it's go go go. Like, it's a process. You source the product, you submit your bid, get the contract, get the pay the supplier for the product. They deliver, you get paid. Rinse and repeat. I know service also is really cool. I'm also going to have to pivot into service at some point. But
Mhm.
for me, I was just comfortable with the business model, and also because I was also doing other things at the time. And so I strictly just relied on product. Now, when we did SAM and won 6 the second year, which was very good, uh, all of this, before we even started all of this, we had come across DLA. And then we tried our hands in it. We just didn't understand it, didn't get it. It was just so cumbersome, man. And
What
what we
specifically about DLA, like when you first came across it, you're like, this does not make sense, or you're, I
no,
don't
it
want
was
to.
the DIBBS, the what was it called? The platform itself, you just see a lot of things. What am I supposed to click on? And we ended up doing another bit of research, which we got a guy that also was offering a training. And I am going to say it here, Day, and I think I will talk about your training, which helped me. But I would also say that people should make sure that they vet all the trainings that they get into. That is very, very key. You
Pull their cage code, or ask them what business they've done. If there's somebody who's teaching it, my thought process is if you haven't made $1 million, you're not
no,
qualified to teach it.
no, yeah,
If you have not done 7 figures yourself, how can you teach somebody to get
exactly.
to 7 figures? You can't tell somebody to go somewhere that you've never gone.
No. And trust me, that we learned the hard way because it burnt us. Like we got this guy. It was these guys are sales guys. They pitch you whatever, and you're a new person in the business, so you just want to get some information. And we got on it, and we paid for the training, and we went to the training. It was almost like a 8-week course that was released to us. I'm telling you, we finished that course, and I looked at my wife and I said, "Is that all?" She said, "It's all. That's the last one." And I said, "I'm sorry, maybe I missed something. Did you catch anything from this? Like, are we ready to go log in now?" It was just mumbo jumbo. It was just And so when we did that, that gave us a bad taste in our mouth, and that's why we literally did a 360 and never went back to DIBBS in the first instance. Now, that was what drove us into Unison and SAMS, because we did that ourselves. We researched that ourselves. We got the knowledge ourselves. So when we did that, we got some success there, and we were so happy. Then the second year, after now coming back to the second year where we had another 6 contracts, we were ready. We were ripe to say, okay, let's go to the next level. To take this to the next level, and that's where we came across you. So I'll let you go to the next question before
Before I get to the next question, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Based on your experience with Sam and Unison Marketplace as compared to DIBBS, what about Sam and Unison made you realize, like, okay, the next level is DIBBS in terms of product sales? Like, what about that? Was it like the saturation of the market? Was it the ticket size of the contracts? Was it like the fact that less people are aware of DIBBS? Like, talk to me about what was some of the key points that were like, okay, the next level is DIBBS.
Right. So I'm going to use Unison, for example. Unison is a great place. I'm still on there, right? By the way, I'm still on there actively every day. Unison is a beautiful marketplace. I think it's just because it has a low barrier of entry, or how do they call it? Like, it's one of the easiest ones to get signed in, to get approved. It's very easy, right? So there's a lot of people on it. That means now there's much more competition. These days, when I call a supplier and I tell them this is what I'm trying to get, the same supplier would be like, you know what? Don't send me a quote, request for quote. I've gotten about 40 calls this morning already. Let me just forward you what I forward to everyone. Now, what does that mean? Basically, it now becomes like super competitive to the point that you are basically cutting yourself. And both of you, all of you competing for the same bid. The government is going to get the best price, obviously, but that means the profit margin becomes slimmer and slimmer every day. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. DIBBS is very quiet from the first day of the new fiscal year, which is October 1st. DIBBS is very quiet till about April. When I say quiet, I mean, give or take, between those times that I mentioned, it's usually 20, 15 bids per day that is being posted, right? Mm-hmm. Now, 20 bids per day, and you have thousands of people looking at the same thing, right? And you obviously know, for those of us that do products, you're not going to bid on anything. You have your own niche, right?
Yeah.
So maybe out of the 20 per day, you can only do one
Now
within those.
I do want to clarify. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
It's closer to about like 10K per day. It's just the way that and maybe it's the methodology that I taught you in terms of like the date range that we want to target.
Right.
But it's like a lot of new stuff that gets posted per day. And ideally that's not the stuff that we want to be going after for the reasons
Oh,
that
are you referring to on Divs right now? Is that what
yeah,
you just
yeah.
said? No, no.
You said DIBBS is 10 to 20.
I was talking about Unison.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I was talking about Unison. Unison between October and April, it's averagely it's about max 20-25 per day on Unison, right? But when it gets to April to the end of the fiscal year, things pick up a lot. You get almost 250 new bids are posted every day when it starts getting to the end of the fiscal year, because now budget has been approved. A lot of people are, government departments now have authorization to spend their money and all of that. So what happens is when it's quiet, what do you do as a business owner if you're only doing Unison, right? So that means you're stuck, right? And then you'd have to wait till April to September. So I don't do that. That was one of the things that I observed that really made me pivot into DIBBS, because in DIBBS, it's all year round. At 365 days of the year, there is always new solicitations that are coming out, and over, like you said, close to 10K every day is posted, and you can then decide on which one you would go for. I used to tell my wife that in Unison would wear you out. Like, what I mean by that is, if you don't have enough beats for the day, you're probably done by 11 a.m., right? But in DIBBS, you would be the one.
You don't stop requesting quotes until like 1 or 2 p.m. If you stop by 11 a.m., I did something wrong. I taught you something wrong.
No, so when you go to DIBBS, DIBBS has so much solicitation that you can request quote from 6 a.m. in the morning. I live in
6
Central
p.m.
Time to whatever time you're still getting quotes in. So the difference is just like huge. And that was what made us, started looking at, more research into, okay, how can we get into DLA and how can we get into this? And then we came across it.
Awesome. So I know you mentioned, okay, it was 6 contracts the first year, 6 contracts the second year, right? 6 with Unison and then 6 with Sam. Talk to us a little bit about kind of like overall, like where the business was, like how frequently were they coming in, like a ballpark of like the revenue, like what numbers you guys were doing prior to getting into DIBBS and Namyad.
So in the first year, it was 6 contracts. It didn't come every month. It was that I'm telling. When I say 6 contracts a year, like that's how long the stretch was.
Like every
It was
2 months, like every other
every
month.
2 months ish, yeah. And then some would probably maybe two would come in a month, and then you won't see anything else till the next 4 months. You get what I mean? And so ballpark in the first year, we were around 110, 150K
Okay.
in total. Revenue. And then the second year was a bit better because I had a huge chunk of one of the contracts. My first contract, the second year was about $85,000.
Oh,
And,
beautiful.
yeah, so that came, the huge chunk came, and then afterwards, that took us to about 300,000, 350,000 for the second year. So that was a significant growth because the first year we did 150, the second year was 350. That's a huge growth
Yeah.
there.
Almost you more than doubled.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like you said, that's where we were at the end of the second year. And
Mhm.
we looked at it and said, okay, yes, that is good. I mean, looking at it, but we don't want one contract every 2 months. We
Yeah.
want to win consistently and try to see if we can do it for 12 months straight, winning at least 2, 3, 4 in a month.
Mhm.
And Unison or SAMS will not give us that with every effort that we were putting in. it was just not enough. That it would not be enough to take us to where we're going to. And then we started reaching out, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Got you, got you. Okay. So I believe it was what, like December that you guys started
November,
in
December. Yes.
November. Okay, so like November, December. And since then, like how many contracts has it been? I know the number because you and I spoke on the phone, but not everybody else knows.
Yeah, we started around December. We finished specifically. We finished our course with you in December, and we started. And since December till now, we are currently on. We have 18. We've won 18 different contracts in
Gotcha,
DIBBS.
gotcha. So it's like
18.
3x what you were doing prior in terms
Yes.
of like the frequency. And
Yes.
then tell everybody the revenue. And then after the revenue, I want to give some people some perspective.
Right. So 18 different contracts right now. We are currently at right now as we speak, we're currently at $85,000 already as we speak. From the 18 different contracts, 85,000. That's, I mean, yeah, that's the revenue at which we are right now, and it's not even 6 months. Well, it's just, I mean,
It just
it's
became 6 months, but we haven't even hit the August, September period
oh,
where they start just
yeah,
throwing money at everybody.
yeah, yeah,
For perspective, 70% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. 2/3 of businesses are not profitable after their first year. And then for perspective, Two Lines Aerospace, which is going into year 4, is doing 20 million per revenue. But in our first year, we made $45,000 in revenue and we lost money. So you guys have doubled what we were doing in DLA our first year. You guys have doubled what we were doing in half the time,
yeah,
as opposed to where we were, right? And I always tell people, I'm like, listen, the growth is exponential because yes, you're doing business with the government, but it's like a people business. It's really
yeah.
a relationship business. And then eventually, after like 2 years of solving problems for the government, then people start to trust you. Then they start to be like, okay, you know what? I'll give you $100,000 at a time, kind of thing, right? And the growth is so exponential. And people from any other podcast that I've done or any other interview, they've heard me tell the story. It went from 45 to 350 to then 3 million to then 20 million. So if you guys are at, let's just say 86, and then you do 160 this year,
Yeah.
next year, reasonably, and you tell me if you feel this is unreasonable. I don't see any reason as to why, if you guys do 160 this year, why you can't do 500 to a million
Yep,
next year.
yep,
And
yep.
then year 3, you cross that 7-figure mark, which is pretty on par with a lot of the stuff that we've seen. It's been on par with our journey, right? It's been on par with a lot of other companies that I've seen in the space. You're looking at between year 2 and year 3 getting to that 7-figure mark. And the
Yeah.
reason why I just bring that up is because I want to be, one, transparent, and then two, I don't want people to think that this is a get rich quick scheme. This is like
No,
this is a
no,
long
no,
game.
not at all.
This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is
No,
something that if you dedicate yourself to it for a year, 2 years, okay, then you can start doing 6 figures. Then middle between year 2 and 3, then you're at
yeah,
7 figures in
yeah,
revenue. And then if your profit margin is like what? Like between 15 to 20%, then
yeah,
you're looking at, 200K net cash in your pocket, right?
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
and then that's assuming that your profit margin stays at 15 to 20%.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, the longer you're in the game, the better your margins become because then you start to develop relationships with people and then
Absolutely,
preferential pricing and stuff. So I always just like
absolutely.
to bring that up just to be entirely transparent and say this is not like crypto. This is not day trading. Not
No, no.
a get rich quick scheme. This is, if you sink your teeth into it and you're in it for the long haul and
Yes,
you stay in the pocket long enough, there's no reason why you can't get to 7 figures within two
yeah,
to 3 years.
yeah,
But
I agree.
you gotta put in the work for a
Yeah,
year
absolutely.
to 2 years. So
I mean, to give context to what you just said, put in the work. I remember the conversation we had after the course, and this is where I think everybody should, I mean, understand why we're doing this. Like I said, it's not a get rich quick scheme. You have to put in the work. When we finished the course, I remember this very vividly, right? When we finished the course, we started out. You told us, hey, you guys are at the point where you can start bidding now. And we went in and we were putting in bids. And I remember 2 weeks after, you called us and you did a check-in with us. And you said, the first question you asked them was, so did you guys win anything yet? We said no. And then the next question you asked was, how many bids have you submitted? And I looked at my wife, she looked at me, and we were like, oh, we're pretty much around 10, 5, 10-ish right now, 15. And the next thing that came out of your mouth was, guys, it's not going to work that way. And then you drew that percentage where you say, okay, if you submit 30, your probability of winning 1 out of the 30, and it's just a game of numbers. And as soon as you said that, I looked at you and I told you then, I said, you know what? You just lit fire in me. Don't worry. Let me handle this. And I can tell you, within that call, and I think that call came around first week of January or second week of January, if I'm not mistaken. Within that time and February ending, there was 6 that came in consistently and came in just like that. And I looked at how much within that period, how much submissions we made compared to the 6, and it just makes sense because at that point we were pretty much at 120 bids submitted. And if I had 6 from 120, then that does make sense that for every 30 or for every 20,
you're looking at about a 5% success rate in the beginning. And I want to clarify, sometimes people get on the calls with me and they're like, what? It's not possible. It doesn't make sense to submit that many bids. But in your experience, how long does it take to actually submit a bid in DIBBS as opposed to SAM? Like 60 seconds?
30 seconds. Okay. We have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. It takes 30 seconds of your time to submit a bid.
Victoria literally timed herself for this one. Because in the beginning, we were learning stuff. We took us 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And don't get us wrong, we were also submitting on Unison and SAM. So we kind of had an idea of how it works, right? But now we're so quick that if I get 10 quotes in a day, it takes literally less than 20, 30 minutes to submit everything.
So it's like, to submit 10 quotes in a day, it takes half an hour of your time. It takes you an hour to submit 20. If I say submit 100, it's 5 hours out of your day. And how long does it take to write 20 proposals on SAM?
All day.
You're not. I don't think you're submitting 20 proposals on SAM in a day, right? And that 5 to 10% success rate, for perspective, if you're doing 100 a day, or I'm sorry, 100 a week, and winning 5 every week, at the end of the month, you're winning 20 a month.
Yeah.
And if you're winning 20 a month at an average clip size of 5 to 10K, if we just average it out and say it's 7.5,
it's
about $100,000 a month.
It's
about $100,000 a month if you get to that point. Now, obviously, you've got a scale to be able to submit that many. But I mean, it's not like when I say, okay, we gotta be doing 20 a day, it's not like I'm saying, okay, let's sit down and I need you to spend 8 hours of your day behind the computer. It takes an hour to submit the bids. If you've already been sending your emails to get the quotes, which I tell you how many phone calls you need to make, how many emails you need to make. By the time all that stuff comes in, it takes you what, 30, 45 minutes to submit your 20 bids in the day?
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm asking, and I mean, you guys rose to the occasion, but I don't think I was ever asking you guys to do anything that was unreasonable with effort or the amount of time. You know what I mean?
It was basically the right thing. And I say it, when I talk to people right now, it's just 6 months, right? If I show you my Excel sheet where we save all our, we follow all the process, we're about 380 in right now, 380. And I'm not stopping, literally every day. I know I give myself a target. And by the way, this is not even my story. This is not even I'm not 100% on it. I'm doing it
on the side.
On the side.
You made $84,000 in 6 months on the side.
I'm doing it on the side. And I have my regular job. I have my 2 computers open. I'm calling in between calls. I'm calling the suppliers. I'm getting as much. So I feel that if I can do it, the only thing, nobody should lie to themselves. Don't deceive yourself that, I'm just going to pay for the training and I'll be done with it. No, you have to work. You have to. If you don't submit, they don't see you. Like that's
If
just
you don't put in the bids, how can they award it to you? If you don't put
sorry.
your name in
No,
the hat, what are they gonna
exactly,
do?
exactly. So it's that submission. You just have to read it, put it in, call, and then a lot of people get locked also in. Oh, it has to be perfect. I have to know about the product. I have to know what the product does. Sorry, no. Find a supplier. The goal is, so I push myself to the point where I say, I wrote it on my board and I said, if I am able to get a quote from a supplier, it has to be the best quote, by the way. If I'm able to get a quote, I'm submitting it. So
It's not,
the goal,
it's not your job to decide whether or not it's valid for the government. Submit it, throw your name in that. For all you know, you could be the only person bidding on it, and it just so happens
no,
that you're the person that DLA is going to give it to you now.
absolutely, absolutely. And then, with DIBBS, there's just so much opportunities. Like there's so much open solicitations that you are going to be the one, you will be one out. So the fact is, when I call a supplier, I now I time myself. If I call a supplier, two suppliers for a particular NSN number or a particular part, I time myself 10 minutes per NSN. If I don't get a response in 10 minutes, don't get their email, because the goal is when I'm talking with them on the phone, the goal for me is to get their email
Yep.
so that I can send them directly the request for quote, and then I can follow up, right? So if I don't get that within the first 10 minutes,
Then you move on.
I'm out to the next one. Like there's so much on the line. I'm in a category right now. When I pull the category up, it's 5,000 open solicitation in that category.
For one product market. One product market.
5,000 and 5,000. I started from the bottom at first. I started from the older solicitation. Then I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I filter out and I started from the newest ones. And I'm not even done with the first page. I'm not even done with the first page. And I have 4,000 and 4,900 and 900 and something to go. But guess what? Tomorrow, that number changes, becomes 5,100.
It becomes 5,000 again. And
You
it
do
just
this time, it becomes
it keeps
5,000
going.
again. So how are you going to keep up? And that's where we talk about scaling and deciding on what we want to do. But I'm taking my time. I'm learning the ropes. I'm going to handle this myself for a bit. Then we talk about scaling. But for now, I just want to understand every part of it. Make sure I'm a pro, and then
Yeah.
I can start deciding on what to do next.
And one thing
Yeah.
I want to touch on that you said, that sometimes people don't understand. There's no way to know this until you're in it. But when we were talking on the phone, you told me, you're like, yeah, it's first of all, it's a pipeline, right? So you told me, you're like, there was stuff that I submitted in January and December
Yeah.
that you're winning today. It's a
Yes.
pipeline. So the 380 that you submitted, the thing that I like about doing business with DLA is you put in the work for 6 months now, and then literally 6 months later, they're gonna be awarding stuff that you submitted way back when.
Yes.
It's a sales pipeline, and
Yes.
sometimes it takes them time
Yeah.
to build a relationship with you and be like, okay, Boonmi can deliver on this for 20 grand. So let's see what he can do for 100 grand that he submitted 6 months ago. So the work that you put in today, I always say this analogy: the seeds that you can't harvest in the same season that you plant. You plant the seeds today, and then in 6 months from now, it makes you $50,000 a pop. You
Absolutely.
cannot harvest in the same season that you plant. It's
No,
the long
no,
game.
no. What you touched on, the award came in. I looked at it and I was like, I don't, because I have a mental picture of everything. I try to have a mental. It's hard to keep track of, but I try to have a mental picture of where I got this bid the quote from, and I have a you gave us that Excel sheet, and we have that spreadsheet where we put our the bids, what we submit, the name of the supplier, and everything. And the award came out, and I was like, what is this? Which one is this one? And we started searching. Imagine having to scroll back to 380 to the beginning when we started in December or January was when it came out, and we found it, and that was how we were able to know that this is which one it was, because it was just so far back in time that that was when we realized, okay, This is something we've put a bid in, 6 months ago, and now they're just awarding it. So I'm
Imagine
not
you're
worried.
winning stuff, and then you don't even know what you're winning so much that you're like, bro, I got to go back and look to see what it is that they're paying me for.
Yeah, yeah. I had to call the supplier. I'm like, I'm sorry for the long wait. We just made the decision. We're ready to order now. And he's like, okay, the price is still the same. Everything is good. Yes, here you
Most
go.
times when you call somebody and you're like, I want to send you $20,000, they don't care if they spoke to you 6 months ago. They're like, yeah, bro, please, I'll help you out. I'll
Yeah,
do it. I'll
yeah,
do it.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
the next thing I have for you is where's your company now, which you kind of touched on, but what's changed, and kind of talk to me about like how you've scaled in terms of like processes or people or like kind of like some procedures. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So yeah, when we started, and good kudos to you, man. Like your course was very very practical, and then you didn't take it from a one and done approach. The check-ins were awesome, the sessions were awesome, and you broke down the foundation with processes, right? DLA, yes, they're a very very process driven agency, right? So what it means is you got to keep your words, you got to keep your quotes, you got to read the
Papers
files,
first. You have to document everything.
or you have to document everything. We have folders for that. So I'm lucky because I have a wonderful partner that does this with me, and we have a two-tiered system working for us right now. I am the customer facing or supplier facing person. She's on the quality
Back
assurance team.
office,
Yeah.
administrative.
Yes, yes. So when I get the quotes, I put it in a what we use, and she goes in, she does the submission, right? The truth of the matter is this: we're partners, right? But we act as if we're business partners. I mean, well, she's my wife, yeah, but
Yeah,
we
she's your
act as if
significant other, but you guys are business partners.
business partners. So when I put in a quote, the quote, I get a quote, I put it there, and she calls me and says, "Hey, this is not going to fly. I'm not submitting this." I'm like, "Why can't you submit it?" "Oh, you didn't get the freight cost, or you didn't calculate this well. I don't think it's going to fly. You have to go back." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going back." And it's that tussle, but it's for the betterment of the company, right? Because we are churning out quality stuff. So she is that two-tiered system where it just works for us perfectly, and she does that quality check. I used to tell her in her other life she's probably going to be like a QA specialist or something, because she has eyes for details, and I can miss something and she doesn't miss it. Freight cost, sometimes it can be the packaging, right? The
Yeah.
packaging material, because I just get the quote, get the price the supplier is going to give me, and she's like, okay, now you got the code, how are we going to package it and send it to DLA? So you don't want to also miss that, because what if the packaging material is times two of what the product is? Now you're in the red. So she checks that before she submits. And then sometimes she just tells me, okay, whatever price you want me to put on this, we have to go double on it, because the packaging material costs this much and all of that. And so we have that going. And that is how we've been able to lean on each other and fine tune the process. And that's why I said now we've gotten to the point where we can churn out, we can submit a bid in 30 seconds. I can tell you that for a fact, that we can submit in 30 seconds. And we're constantly looking for more ways to fine tune that. And I also, just to add to it, two of your suggestions also helped our process. Like you gave us two suggestions to two different softwares. We
Mhm.
jumped on those ones, and you have to pay money to make money, actually. So
You can
we
say
we
what the
jumped on,
softwares were. I made a video explaining all the
yeah,
software.
yeah, yeah. So
So you
those
can you
was
can say
that
what they
those
were.
were
I don't mind.
yeah, so we got you. First one was the NSN now.
Yeah.
You told us that, and everybody, trust me, my first six contracts actually was one based off of the free NSN now. If anybody cares to know, because they will give you a trial period, and
Yeah.
when they give you a trial period, you need to maximize the trial period just to understand, to know if you really want to use this or not. So we used the trial period, won a couple of contracts there, and then I was like, okay, now I can pay for it. So I
Yeah.
paid for it, and we're going good with that. And it will save you a lot of stress. By the way, they did something beautiful now. They have what we call the unsuccessful bidders list on
Yeah,
NSA.
I heard
So
about that. Yeah.
when you click on it, even though, so I just click on it and I'm finding out that it's a good, data source for you, because now I'm finding out that some of the bids I'm winning, I went back to look at it, and that's another thing I do. I go back to see if I lose a bid, I want to see why I lost it. And funny enough, I'm now finding out that I am second in the list, right? Because the winner was maybe a few dollars short of mine.
Cents, sometimes pennies off.
Pennies, right? And I'm okay with that because I have a model, and I'm not. I already carved my model. I
Yeah,
carved out my profit margin percentage and everything. So I'm not going to come down from that. I'm going to stick to that. That's what make my business stay afloat, right?
yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that software is so good that now you can see, why did I lose that? Oh, that's $15. Oh, well, could I have gone down a little bit? Yeah, but well, it's okay. Then it's more like a data source, and that's another process that we've been using that has been really good. Then yeah, so that's where we are right now, and we're trying our best to keep doing what we do, just stay consistent and
Awesome.
keep at it.
What would you say were like the most important things that you learned like throughout the process? Like the things that once you learned, you're like, okay, a light bulb went off and then it made like an immediate impact.
So the first, the two things, right? Two things. The fact that when in the process of the training with you and all of this, the fact that the templates that you shared on how to call the
Mhm.
suppliers, how to talk to them, how to, that really helped me a lot. Not that I'm a people's person. I love building relationship with people. I
And I
can
don't
I
mean to
can get
interrupt
it.
you guys, but I have that on my YouTube channel for free. It's free.
Yeah,
Go get it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's out there.
absolutely. Yeah.
Literally look it up. It's called $1 Million Phone Call Script. It's out there for free. Like I'm not upselling you guys anything. The same script that I gave him, it's literally out there for you guys to use. I run through how to use it on YouTube. Go look that up. But
Yeah,
continue.
yeah. So I talk. I mean, I can get things out of people anyway, but that is just like a much more supplier to customer relationship. It's a different tone. It's a different type of way you say it and how you say it. And how they take you serious. And if you notice, I don't know if anybody has caught on that. I've got a Nigerian accent, so the minute I say hello, they already know that, oh, they're trying to say, oh, who is this? Is this a Nigerian prince scam or whatever? But I follow the script page by page or line by line, and I've been able to use that for myself to really help me out. Then that's the first one. And there's a second thing you did, which I think, I mean, anybody would benefit from if they sign up with you. Is the packaging, the video on packaging.
And I
Trust
gave
me.
you the checklist. I gave you like 4 different checklists step by step. You can't mess it up.
You remember we called you a couple of times when we messed up one or two, right? But
That was because I told you guys I was gonna talk to you on Monday, and you guys like, no, I want to send it on
we
Friday.
shipped it before your call, and that was it was beautiful because by the time it got there, I mean,
It
and
worked
this is
itself.
another, we solved it. We solved it. That's not a problem. But every time we get confused, we go back to that video, and I tell Victor, I'm like, there's nothing too hard in DLA. Let's ask Day, or let's go back to the video and we'll be able to see it. And that video literally has helped us in a lot of ways. So those two things I'm super grateful for. Super grateful for.
The phone call script and the packaging. The phone call script it's out there on YouTube. The packaging
Free.
video, it's for free. It's out there. Like you don't gotta hop on no calls with anybody. You don't have to talk to me. Just go to the YouTube channel,
Watch
screenshot
it.
this damn script and use it for yourself, bro. The packaging video I was supposed to do, and one of my team members who it's not his fault. It was really my fault because I waited too long. I had something that I was gonna ship, and then he ended up shipping it because we needed to get paid on it. So that one, I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna do that. But I give you guys step-by-step checklist, like verbatim what to do. This happens, then you go here and
Yeah. Yeah.
this happens and you go here and you do this. And there's like 4 different checklists where no matter what happens, like you will pass any inspection, you'll pass any
Absolutely.
on it. So I do my best to give you guys to prepare you for every single possible
Yeah.
situation
Yeah.
you come
Yeah.
across. So talk to me about what's next for Okinson Group.
Okay. So you know, when you start something, you sometimes you get ahead of yourself, and that's another mistake. Well, I would say another pitfall that people should watch out for. When you get on DIBBS, you're gonna get so excited because there's so much opportunities. You want to do that. You want to do that. You want to do that. And the truth of the matter is, when you get excited like that, you're gonna start like not overwhelming yourself, but you will start pulling things that are not yet to be pulled. So that happened to us about a month, 2 months ago, to the point where we were trying to say, okay, should we start, find technical drawings and try to, create a new obsolete product ourselves and all of that. But I came back, I grounded myself, and I decided, okay, I'm going to stick to the present, right? I'm going to start doing what I do. It's a formula for a reason. Quote, submit, win, or lose. Quote, submit, win, or lose. So now, next step for Kissing Group, we're going to continue to submit. With the two softwares that we use, we're going to continue doing that. And the goal for me is to get to currently, with other things, coming on life happening. Sometimes my submission rate drops drastically. There was a week that I was actually out for about 15 days. I didn't submit one thing, right?
Mhm.
So I want to make up because whenever I go to my client side on my the nine
Yeah,
to
your
five,
day job.
yeah, I'm not able to use my personal computer. So what that means is it's my everything drops at that point. So with that, I always try to make up for it on when I'm back home or something. So what I try to do is I want to push my submission rate up, try to at least hit that 50, 60, 100 per week. And it's possible. I just need to consistently just continue doing it. And then by the end of the year, I'm looking at my Excel sheet. I'm at 380 right now. I'm giving myself a goal of I want to at least have 1,000 submissions on my Excel sheet.
Oh,
So that,
easy, easy. And
yeah,
if you have 1,000 submissions, like realistically, I think you guys will probably do like 250K. That's just
yeah,
my estimate, just based on how things get towards the end of the year. And then now that you guys have that past performance, they're gonna award all the stuff that you guys previously had, and you've seen it already, where
yeah,
they're awarding stuff from 4, 5, 6 months ago. So
yeah.
realistically, I think by the end of the year, like maybe I'll check in with you, and I'm realistically expecting you guys to be doing like a quarter, like 250K, which for something that you're doing on the side in your first year, to $250,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's the goal. See if I can get, I want to try this. I mean, I'm not even, not see if I can, I will get to 1,000.
Yeah,
That's how I think. If I can, I'll do it, get to 1,000 by the end of the year and just look back and see how I can refine the process again. And before talking about scaling and, finding more people to join the team and all of that. But for right now, that's the plan. That's the
gotcha,
plan.
gotcha. So what would you say to somebody who's looking to get started with DLA? Like what would you recommend to them to do?
So with DLA, I think starting out, do not try to. I mean, a lot of people think I mean, we can all read, right? We can try to figure it out ourselves, but please don't. Uh, there's a reason why whoever coined the statement saying that you need to stay on the shoulder of giants, or sit on the shoulders of giants. I know I'm not saying it right. There are people that have done it before you, and they are giving out information. There's a reason why that is. We need representation in that industry. I know I'm not trying to bring race into this or anything, but let's just leave it at that. We need representation. We need minority business owners to really play in that field. And trust me, follow day, go on YouTube. There's too much freebies on YouTube. First, that's where you need to start and watch all those. And if you think you need further guidance, which I think you should, no matter what, attend some of the next webinar he has is actually free. So join that, listen to him, and take the next step. Because doing it with more information would help you. It would ease the whole thing out. Like you would hit the ground running. Because imagine if you're new, you get on DLA on DIBBS, you register, they approve you, and you don't know you have to change your password every 30 days, and they lock you out. They will keep locking you out. Or you travel out and then you didn't get the memo that you're not supposed to signing into DIBBS out of country. They will lock you out. And those are the things that you might not be able to know, or if you try to go figure it out yourself. And then sometimes you get on the solicitation, you don't know what to read, you don't know how to even read the packaging materials. The codes are there. If you don't do the training, if you don't find the knowledge, you don't know. And then you get a quote, you submit, and then the packaging material costs 1,000 more than the product. Now you're in the red. So all of those things, I would say you can do it yourself, yes, but it would take you longer, compared to if you just take the training, or if you watch some videos, or if you get more research more and get more information before you actually kickstart the whole process. Yeah, that's the advice I'll give.
Got you. Got you. I do my best to give you guys as much free stuff as possible. I think I just passed like 60 YouTube videos. Probably 50 of those are like straight freebies, like free stuff on like how to do it. There's this one guy, he DMs me on Instagram. I posted on my story. He's on his 7th contract right now, just from YouTube. Like I started posting 3 months ago, and he just watches every single video. Like he just comments on every single video, and he's on his 7th contract for the same item. Like, just watch all the free stuff that I'm putting on YouTube. I'm not trying to upsell you guys on anything. It's free stuff that I'm just putting out there. Then, if you feel like, okay, I want to get to the point where I'm doing $80,000 in 6 months from a side hustle, then you pick up the phone and then you call me, or you
Yeah,
schedule a call with the team. But I do my best to give you guys as much free stuff as possible.
yeah,
Like I try
yeah,
my best to be as transparent as possible. I don't sell you guys. I don't try to be somebody that I'm not, or tell you the industry is something that it's not. Like, oh, you can get rich really quickly. I try to be as transparent as and honest as possible. I try my best to give you guys as much free game as possible. I literally have a video titled "How to Use My Channel to Win Contracts." Like, just go watch that and go watch it in order. Like, I'm giving you guys the sauce. I'm giving you guys the method. I don't know how much easier I can make it for you guys. But with all that being said, Bunmi, I'm so grateful that you took the time to speak with me, because I know you're very busy. I know you got your day job, and then I know you're running a 6-figure side hustle as well. So I'm very grateful that you took the time. And yeah, I'm super happy to see how far you guys have come in 6 months. And I'm very excited to see where you guys go, in a year from now. I really think $250,000 at the end of the first year is probably where you guys are going to
yeah,
end up. And I
yeah,
don't see any reason as to why year 2 you're not doing, half a mil or the three
yeah,
quarters of the
yeah.
within the next 2 years. Like, it's $1 million business for you
I
guys.
agree. I agree. I
100%. So
agree. Thank you so
um,
much.
I'm proud of you guys. I'm grateful that you took the time. And yeah, I'm just super appreciative overall. Guys, don't forget, it's gonna be in the description of this video and a pinned comment. Free webinar, June 15th, 11 a.m. EST. It's free. I'm giving you guys the entire blueprint. Like, I'm not trying to upsell anybody. I just want more people to be exposed to it, because the biggest thing that I've found with government contracting is, like, one, people don't know about government contracting in general, and then two, DIBBS. Like, there's just not enough people talking about
Yes.
DIBBS. So, like,
Yes.
my goal is just to get more people out there, because at the end of the day, the more people that we have on there, the more competition there is. It makes things better for the government. We're able to support, our troops on
Yeah.
the, and then they're posting 10,000 a day. So even if I drive more people to DIBBS, it's not like we're really gonna make a dent in the amount of people that are
Oh,
bidding on. 51% of the contracts, only one person or nobody bids.
yes. Yes.
Like, my goal is for everybody to benefit. It's such a
Yeah.
big piece of the pie that, like, who am I to sit here and corner a $270 billion market? There's enough for everybody to get paid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've said it. That's the only way we can get more people in there. There's no way. It's something for everyone, no matter who you are, like whatever you want to do, niche or no niche, there's something for everyone. And I'm just happy that, we cross path with you. And thank you for also helping my business. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me. I'm super grateful that, you went with us to guide your business in the right direction. It's a responsibility. It's not something that we take lightly. And yeah, for anybody that's ever worked with me, you can ask any of them. I always do my best to check in with them even after the fact. Even after the invoices have been paid and the sessions are done, I would still always check on everybody. I still reach out and just say, "Hey, how are things going? Do you have any questions with anything?" You guys have access to me for life. I'll answer any questions. If Boonmi knows if he sends me something today, 6 months
Uh,
after, I'm gonna answer him within 24 hours. So
uh,
yeah, but just super grateful. And remember, guys, DLA buys over 3 million different items. There's something literally for everybody.
yes,
Only 8,500 companies won contracts last year. 8,500, and there's 10,000 posted a day. There's so much free game out here, so much opportunity, and there's something for everybody, guys. And I think this is gonna be like I think this is going to be the next Amazon eventually.
yes,
Once
yeah,
we figure it
yes,
out, like this industry is going to blow up with the advent of social media and War Dogs movies and then other government contractors on YouTube. This is going to be the next Amazon. Like get in early because in 5 years from now, you're going to be looking back on it and being like, damn, I should have
yeah,
gotten it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Thank you, man. Thank you.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys click the link in the description, and then hit me up on Instagram if you want any of the free PDFs that I'm offering. And go find that phone call script video. It's on my YouTube channel. It's pinned. I think it's like 2 or 3 months old. Go find it. It's free. You can screenshot it, print it out, use it for your own. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go get those dollars. Not only am I looking forward to your success, I'm sure of it.
Absolutely.